Welcome to my channel, the J Formula. Thank you, thank you. I like my new hair too. All mine. Yesterday, a friend came over and we watched Wonder Woman 1984. I have to be honest, when I saw the previews, I really didn't have that much interest in seeing it, but it was Christmas, I didn't have much going on, and it was something to do. Plus, it's a Marvel movie, no, DC. I think Wonder Woman is DC. Let's name some good things about the movie. I got a good nap in, and Gal Gadot is gorgeous and mesmerizing. And anytime she's on the screen, it's really hard for your eyes not to gravitate to her. Let's see, what else was good about the movie? Maybe if they would have set the movie in Greek goddess times, it would have been a lot better. Because the beginning, although I was a little there was a side eye at having this little kid go up against these grown-ass women, these strong grown-ass women, and yet the little kid manages to place first, technically, although she didn't really get to place first because she cheated, whatever it was. I didn't call that cheating. I called that being smart. You gotta work smarter, not harder. I didn't like that lesson. That lesson was a stupid lesson. But first 5-10 minutes of them in this American Ninja Warrior type triathlon competition to see who's the best. I don't even know what the purpose was. It just, I guess, kind of like the Olympics, but American Ninja Warrior style. And the fact that this kid basically came in at first place against these women was but okay. I didn't know at the time that that would be the highlight of the movie. The character that was very Trump-esque. It was, to a T, especially during the end. Except the one thing that is not very Trump-esque is the fact that the character ended up getting a conscience, a heart, and some morals and values. But that's of all the time periods they could have chosen, they chose the 80s, and I hated it. I hated it. Like, there was nothing about the 80s that... yes, there was colorful clothing, but man, to have the whole movie, nothing about the 80s really stood out to make it something that I would want to see in a movie. To set a movie specifically in 1984, not it. The clothes, ugh. The colors weren't too bad, but nothing about the 80s was cool, really. So I wasn't feeling it. That was one of the main reasons why, after watching the previews, I was like, 80s? It's nothing about the 80s that I was born in the 80s, so don't get me wrong. It holds a special place in my heart. Just not something I want to watch. It played such a big role, it just didn't deserve it. Her female counterpart / Nemesis, spoiler alert, I don't feel like she added to the storyline. She's a geologist who finds the magic stone thing, crystal, and they joke about it. So yes, she could have been the one to identify the crystal, but other than that, going up against Wonder Woman, I didn't really feel like it was necessary. It was kind of boring, actually, that whole storyline. And another thing that really bugged me and stood out is the fact that her costume, she's a cat lady. She's like Catwoman, but the DC version. And all right, fine, you can be Catwoman. There's plenty of costumes, outfits, and have it be... It doesn't have to be sexy, because I am one for women not necessarily having to be sexy in order to be a superhero, although, yeah, you kind of have to be sexy to be a superhero if we think about it. Yeah, you do have to be sexy to be a superhero. But they chose the same kind of costume. Whoever was the costume designer for Cats, the movie, that failed and that looked ridiculous, was apparently the same costume designer for Cheetah. And I hated the costume. I did not feel like the character added value to the movie, to the plot. If I'm not a writer, but I ain't like it. Basically, I ain't like it. Ooh. This critique is a little harsh, but it's necessary. Chris Pine, honey, maybe if he stuck to Star Trek, he could play Captain Kirk, although I feel like there might be some other people who would play better Captain Kirks. But Chris Pine in the movie, I don't know. For me, he's not really that attractive. And I didn't really feel the chemistry between them. Like, there was some chemistry, but like, not. Who has good chemistry? She has better chemistry with Batman than she does with Chris Pine. The thing that I'll say that Marvel movies has over DC movies is the action. No, that's not true. Batman, all three Batmen with Christian Bale, they came with it. And if they didn't have, and what they lacked in action, their characters were just good characters. It was Christopher Nolan, right? He was the one. The movie was long. The movie was 2.5 hours. And honestly, there's 30 minutes of that movie that could have been cut out. And probably the part where I napped, that was probably a good part of the movie that should have gone. Either way, Wonder Woman